Hello Spider fans and Spider friends, welcome to my video. I'm your host, the J-Man, and today I'm going to be talking about Spider-Man and specifically the character of Mary Jane. And I know I've talked about this many times before, but this time I really want to focus on what the problem is. Why is Mary Jane such an issue with the writing, with the writers? Why do they feel like they have to omit her from the storyline? Okay, let's really analyze this. Is she the problem, or are the writers just having their own set of difficulties? Particularly, Editor-in-Chief Joe Quesada. Now, he has stated that he is a fan of the Mary Jane character, and he's also a fan of the relationship between Peter Parker and Mary Jane. But, on the other hand, he also hates the fact that Peter Parker is married and will probably have children soon, which means that he's getting old. And you can't really tell a superhero story if your main character is an old man or coming into retirement, or has a married life to worry about, and it's just not really hip and cool. And I think the problem is that he believes that those kind of stories aren't going to attract a younger audience. There's only so much you can write, and they're limiting. So I believe that's the whole thought process going on at Marvel. But I want to put it into perspective. Going back and really thinking about it, the whole idea to unite Mary Jane and Peter Parker, that all started with Stan Lee. Okay, Stan Lee was the first person to marry the two of those characters, MJ and Peter. Stan Lee wrote it in his weekly comic series. He put it that Mary Jane and Spider-Man got married, and Marvel Studios, being in love with Stan Lee, thinking everything that Stan Lee comes up with is golden, goes ahead and they do the same thing. They decide to have Mary Jane and Peter Parker have a wedding and get married to each other, right? And this is all the way back in 1987. Okay, let's go back even further and think about Mary Jane and Peter Parker when they first got together. It was after the death of Gwen Stacy, Peter Parker's first true love, and she was like the perfect girl for him. But she was killed tragically. That's the second major tragic event in the Spider-Man storyline. The first major tragic event, of course, was the death of Uncle Ben. Alright? So, several years later, we have the same theme here, reoccurring. Death of a loved one. Which brings me to my point, which brings me to a question. Is Spider-Man, in essence, is the story, a tragedy? Because that's what it's looking like. This character, Peter Parker, can never really have a steady relationship. He can never settle down. He can never meet someone he loves, because he's stuck with this burden of this responsibility of being Spider-Man. So, in that respect, it is kind of a tragedy. But it all depends on how it turns out in the end. A tragedy still can have a happy ending. But would that really make it a tragedy? Anyway, so my whole point is that Mary Jane started out with Peter Parker. She was the party girl. She was not really his type. She wasn't the sweet and loving type like Gwen Stacy was. She was kind of the opposite of Gwen Stacy, but she kind of changed over the years and became more compatible with Peter. Okay, so when the writers decided to have them get married, did they stop and think about the consequences? Did they stop and think about this may lead us into a writing a block in the road, a dead end where we won't be able to write anything. Surely they had those conversations about how far they can take it, where it's going to go, what are we going to do in the future if we need to split them up. So what was the plan all along? That's what I wanted to know. And I think they really didn't have a plan. They were just going to kind of go with the flow, see what the readers responded to well. And I think that's kind of a mistake. They should have had a plan for the marriage. So, you know, years down the line when they came up with One More Day, which was a convoluted plot device, they wouldn't have had to do that. They wouldn't have had to piss off fans that way. They developed Mary Jane far too much to just let her go. If they were going to let her go all along, they shouldn't have developed her that much. And because now fans have an attachment to Mary Jane as well as Peter Parker, but really it's Joe Quesada's decision to finally X her out. They realize they can't kill her. They can't have the couple get a divorce. But the whole thing is, okay, here's my biggest argument with this. Why do you have to have them split? Why do you have to have them separate? If the whole reason is just simply to start fresh, to have a young hero, a young character that kids can identify with, because you know kids are the main demographic, the key audience for the sales of the book. If that's the whole thought process and goal behind splitting up Mary Jane and Peter Parker, it's not even necessary, because you have another book, another title that does that, and it's called Ultimate Spider-Man, and that is exactly what I was talking about. I mean, Ultimate Spider-Man is a restart or a reboot of Spider-Man. It's not connected to all that past history of Amazing and Spectacular and Web of Spider-Man. So Amazing Spider-Man can continue the life of Peter Parker and Mary Jane. They can stay together, they can be married, they can go through all that stuff. It can be a more mature book for older audience, because you also have Ultimate Spider-Man for the younger crowd, so you get the best of both worlds, and I really don't see why that wouldn't work out for you. So yeah, there you have it. Those are my thoughts, my complaints, what have you. Make sure to send me your comments. Well, thanks for watching my video. See you next time.